Hi, this is Dr. Gary, and welcome to our weekly tune-up this week. Many of you asked a lot of questions this week about the words we use, and what to do about negative self-talk, and what to even do about people who negatively talk to us, and how to shelter yourself from that information. Well, one of the first things we have to really realize is negativity is a perception. It's a perception that somebody may say something to us that we think is negative, and maybe their intention wasn't negativity at all. It's just kind of the way they came across. There's a thing in each one of us, our belief system, our reality. I call it a complex equivalency. And what that really is a complex of all of our experiences, and all of our experiences based upon the life we led, the things we've learned along the way, end up creating a belief system for us. And our belief system is centered around all of our past. Now, the most unique thing is no one's ever had exactly the same past, so their belief system is going to be a little bit different than yours. So rather than to become militantly against anyone who is perceived to be negative, understand they're just speaking from their reality, from their perception, and what they think negative might be. Or maybe you're filtering through your experience, your reality, your complex equivalency of what you perceive negative to be, and the other person might be not negative at all in their own mind. So we have to be really, really careful about the judgment of other people. One of the safest things to do is just ask questions. Also, we have to pay attention to what we're telling ourselves. Always remember, especially if you're reading emails or text messages, depending on the words that you're hearing and the mood you're in, you're going to filter all those messages built upon your internal equivalence of happiness or the mood you have in that particular moment. And you can take a complete innocent communication, but filter it through your bad mood, and you're going to hear anger coming from the other person and perceive their message came from a place maybe other than what they intended for it. One of the problems I have right now with all the communication we're doing with emails and text messages, and really believe a lot of people, that's one of their primary ways of communicating right now. And I understand it seems to save time. However, on the back end, it takes a lot of time when you have to explain yourself to someone on what you meant if they took it wrong. So if we're going to text message someone, or if we're going to email someone, what we have to really do is really build our intention into that so they understand the vibe we're projecting when we write the email. Because if they're having a mood that might be less than yours right now, they're going to hear it completely differently. And then into your own self-talk. One of the things we have to really be careful of is using those virus words, why, try, need, but, should, don't, and hope, in our self-talk. And then also when we're talking to ourselves, ask yourself, what voice am I talking to myself in? Is it a kind voice? Is it a reprimanding voice? Am I putting myself down? That has a lot to do with the way we feel about ourselves and also the way other people perceive us, because it creates a mental cocktail and a perception inside ourselves that maybe we're not good enough, and we project that to other people, or they can kind of notice it on us without ever saying anything. So what we tell ourselves is ultimately the most important thing, because what we tell ourselves ultimately determines what we can and cannot do. It really determines how good we're going to feel or how bad we're going to feel in any particular day. What we tell ourselves ultimately is the ultimate command line in creating what we want to create each day. And if you're telling yourself things that do not feel good or seem like this mad uncle or aunt that's on your case all the time, you've got to change that, because what that's doing is costing you success, either in a relationship or even financially or with your job. Your voice inside your head is the ultimate carrier of your intention, and it's going to carry forth within you what happens that day. If you find yourself reprimanding yourself or an unkind voice talking to yourself, reframe that immediately. Turn it around a little bit and understand the nicer you are to you. And by the way, that's not narcissistic, nor is that selfish. If you can't be nice to you, you can't expect anybody else to either. We actually train people on how to treat us in the way we treat ourselves and what we tolerate and keep from tolerating in our lives. So today, really pay attention to your emails and deliver your intention, or even a text message, even though we zip them out kind of quick. Be careful, because I will bet it's causing a lot of problems for you in some areas. It sure does with a lot of people that come and see me. That seems to be one of the primary things people trigger on now, are emails and text messages. And then the next thing I want you to really pay attention to this week is the voice you speak to yourself in. Is it a kind voice? Is it a counseling voice that really is kind of like a mentor sitting on your shoulder? If it's not, change it and start working on it. And I think you'll find once you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to feel better. And once you start feeling better, things just seem to roll a little bit easier for you every day. Let's work on that this week. And I appreciate all of you being in touch with me. Thank you so much. And just another word, just for fun, I'm live on an internet radio station each morning now from 6 o'clock a.m. to 8 a.m. And you can find that at www.xbrock.com. Do it for fun primarily. However, I convey in just kind of a nice little radio program playing some old school rock and roll and music a lot of the stuff we're talking about here, and you can actually hear the way I use that stuff on a public forum. So tune in if you want, just for fun. Until next week, this is Dr. Gary wishing you an extraordinary day. Be careful what you say to yourself, because it matters. Bye-bye.